Carlos, welcome back to Wrigley Field. I'm sure a lot of memories come back to you every time you come here. What's the first thing you think about when you step into this ballpark?
Every time I come to Wrigley Field, is the atmosphere of playing baseball. It's always on my heart and my mind.
Please welcome Big Z, number 38, Carlos Zambrano.
This is a great place to play, to have to come and watch a ball game, and as a player to come and hear a performance and have fun in the mound or whatever the position you are playing.
I've always said you're one of the most interesting guys to watch pitch because you were such a great athlete. You could hit the ball out of the ballpark. You fielded your position well. You had a lot of energy and emotion out there.
Too much.
Well, maybe I'll ask you about that. Part of what made you great was also what maybe aggravated people about getting too overly emotional. But you are who you are, right?
Yeah, emotional is good. Once you mature and you realize that the emotional is good when you can control it.
Right.
And obviously, sometimes during my career, I couldn't control my emotions. Bottom line is that I just gotta win. That was my whole mentality.
You had a chance to get to the postseason on a few occasions, and you had a lot of success here. I've often said if I had to make up my five-man rotation of all-time Cubs, you would be in it. Is there one particular memory that stands out for you? The no-hitter certainly stands out for me up in Milwaukee.
Well, no-hitter is for me, for myself, because it's individual, if I can say, glory,
Here's a pitch, swing and a miss, a no-hitter! Carlos Zambrano has no-hit the Houston Astros! Oh, baby!
But for me, every time we went to the playoff and we had a chance to get to the postseason, that was the best memory for me,
You had a lot of great teammates. I think of Sammy Sosa and Moises Alou and Derek Lee and Ramos Ramirez, Greg Maddux, Kerry Wood, Mark Pryor. I don't want you to pick favorites because I know you had a lot of favorites, but were there a couple of guys who really helped you along earlier in your career, and who did you like watching and you say, that guy, I want that guy in my team?
I say Woody. He was about his game, about the game, and professional. Woody was like a mentor for me, and obviously Maddux, when he came to the team, I was already in the big league for 4 years, and he taught me, how to pitch inside, how to do this, and how to do, tricks and how to move the ball. For me, they were the greatest teammates that I had.
Toughest guy you ever faced?
Pujols and Carlos Lee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was always really good against the Cubs, wasn't he?
Yeah. Believe me, sometimes I want to throw my glove to see if he can get out of the ballpark.
You had a lot of interesting managers too, big personalities. I think of Dusty Baker and Lou Piniella in particular. What was Lou like? Because I saw a side of Lou, and I'm sure the players did too.
For me, Lou was a good manager. I would say too calm. But he was a good manager, and he taught me a lot how to respect the game. And one of those managers that when he had to tell you something, he called you to the office and say anything he wants to say for the good of the game, for the good of your career. And Dusty Baker was the best for me. Dusty he was another player with respect. For us, he was another player in the bench, and kind of like a general for us.
Last question for you. You mentioned being excited to watch this team win the World Series last year. You weren't on the team, but you have to feel that this team is kind of in your heart because you were a Chicago Cub, and you're going to be remembered as a Chicago Cub. Yeah. So, how did you feel when the Cubs won?
I couldn't sleep. I was up till the last minute of the TV was recording celebrations, everything. I felt it and I enjoyed it like I was in the field, I was part of the team. This was the team that brought me to the big league and gave me the opportunity to play. And I feel proud of being a Chicago, of being a Cubby. And I was not a Cub player. I am a Cubs forever. I think Cubs always will be in my heart.
You had a great career. No regrets, man. Always loved watching you pitch, and always great to see you back here.
Thanks, Len. Thanks.